You know what?
What? You gotta go?
No.
No.
You know what?
What?
Some things don't deserve a sequel.
Yeah, that's true.
Better yet, some sequels should never be made.
Accurate.
Welcome back to A Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm a Don.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. How was your theater experience?
It was pretty filled. There were some people. There was a good amount of teens that were just like snickering, cracking jokes throughout the film.
It's annoying.
Yeah, I was more annoyed during the film, watching the film because of that. I mean, I get if you're snickering, cracking jokes around parts that are like generally funny, but like there's parts that are just happening and they're cracking jokes and whatnot. Like similarly, like they happened to be behind me and I knew who they. One of them I thought was a child. It just happened to be a teenager that sounded like a kid. And then as I was leaving, I recognized them because they were talking about like, oh, well, that's 2 hours I'm not going to get out of my life. And I'm like, neither am I because of you. I can't really appreciate the film because you're not doing shit, to the film.
Right. Well, the thing is, it's also very distracting too, because now you're focusing on them instead of what's happening in front in the screen. Like, I mean, I understand they paid money to see the movie. You didn't pay
Don't,
money to hear them talk. You paid money to watch a
yeah.
show, a movie.
Now, in true defense, I would say there's nothing wrong with snickering and whispering during a movie. I do it all the time. But there were clearly like 7 rows behind me.
7 rows? Jesus
Yes.
Christ.
That's why I'm saying it's just annoying. You know where I sit. I sit like not the first row, but like where the bar is, like good, nice middle,
Right.
near the ground level. And then they were up there, and I could still hear you, bro.
Well, for me, I don't know how busy it was in the theater because of where we sat. There's 2 floors. I guess you'd call like a ground and mezzanine or orchestra. If you're like in a Broadway theater, that there's an orchestra and then there's a mezzanine, right? Where I was in the orchestra area, if you will, including me and Kim, 10 people. The crowd was very unresponsive to the movie in the sense of like, there's no big moments like, yeah, or clapping or what have you.
There was one moment where everybody in the theater, including myself, was like, "What?
Was that at the end?
I'm pregnant."
Oh, that part, I'm not really surprised because a lot of people do that. Girls do. That's happened to me
Yeah.
before with an ex where they're arguing, whatever, blah blah blah. They don't want to lose you, so they'll throw that card out.
Yeah.
We know it was a lie because he brought it up at the end, and she didn't bat an eye about it. She didn't care. And I have a problem with that. So just to get into it, Joker Folie Deux is a direct sequel of the original Joker, written and directed by Todd Philips, starring Joaquin Phoenix. We have some returning cast in this as well from the previous one, which I was surprised to see some people return because in our review, which I'm still editing because we talked a lot about that one because Joker original one is short of a masterpiece.
Yeah.
How it was done. What I hate about this sequel
It undoes. It undoes some of the
right.
mystique.
Yes, that's what's great about the first one is that you don't know, like, did it or did it not happen? And now we have this sequel that tells us, yes, it did. It destroys the genius of the original.
Yeah.
And then it gave us answers of certain things that we questioned in our review. But now he also gave us more questions with this.
Yeah.
Meaning the sense of in DC Comics, we know that there's more than one Joker. We have that tale. 3 to 4 Jokers.
3 Jokers.
I thought in our last review you said there could be another one that was like an influence.
No. It basically you don't like it's argued like who's the real influence and stuff like that. Like they always juggle with and then they introduced the multiverse. There's a limited series called The 3 Jokers.
I thought from that there was also another one, the Genesis, and then became those 3 Jokers. But you're saying no.
No, they use that story to make one official Joker. Is what I was saying.
Fair enough. Because here we have it in a way that this Joker influenced another. It could argue the fact that it led to the creation of Christopher Nolan's Joker.
Yeah. And some people were like, it doesn't make sense for that because of the aging. I mean, it technically, it's its own universe.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Some stuff doesn't make sense because of the killings, the number. They kept saying 5, and then with his mother is 6. So are we saying that the nurse at the psychiatrist at the end was not killed?
I thought the doctor, the female black doctor that they had in the courtroom, that was the same nurse from the first movie.
No, that was the original social worker and the psychiatrist, if you will.
Okay, so they didn't bring back the psychiatrist. That
Right.
one, that was the social worker. Yeah.
Right. So she could have been dead, but that math does not add up. Okay. And also Sophie, the girl that he was in love with or had a fascination with, she is alive. In our review, we thought she was dead.
Yeah.
Because it was not clear dead or alive, like what happened, right?
Yeah.
So he killed the 3 guys, 3 Wall Street. He kills his mother. He admits to that in the court.
Yeah.
He kills his co-worker. That's 4.
Murray.
And Murray. That's 5. So 6 is the mother that he admits to. And the psychiatrist at Arkham apparently is still alive because they didn't put that number in.
So like you could allude that maybe she was hurt, or maybe the footprints was just in his head.
Yeah, but again, that's the beauty of the original one.
Yeah.
And they changed how Arkham is in this movie than they did that one. And that's what I hate about like certain things, because the Arkham in the other one was like white and bright and clean, where here is like grimy and dirty and
I thought they made it clean on the like the B ward versus the E ward.
Yeah, but do you know that's a Easter egg right there? B ward?
No, what to what?
The original Robin, Burt Ward, the actor.
Oh, I didn't get that. I mean, you're gonna say E ward was for Riddler?
Possibly.
Edward.
But yeah, there you go. He just did it good. And they gave us another origin story of another villain.
Besides Lee.
Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
Not really Harley. Well, yeah, Harley, yeah, that one. But in a sense, okay, they gave us 2 then. But Harley's character is more that she wasn't really the Harley that we know. I mean, for one, she was called Lee, so they just changed that up. Yes, she had a fascination with, or infatuation with Joker, not with Arthur. She didn't care about Arthur. She cared about the Joker. She screwed him or fucked him as Joker. She put the makeup on. You know, of course, they acknowledge that she came from money. She was a psychiatrist, or she studied psychology, all that stuff. Where here they changed it up that she is a super fan person and stalked him, if you will. In the comics, she was originally his therapist, then started to fall for him with the sessions.
Yes.
This was more of a musical, and the music, the singing, all the stuff was overkill in my opinion, but I did appreciate it because it started going it back into his mind in the sense of he's seeing things in song. It goes into the psyche of him or the delusion that he's having.
Okay.
I kind of like and not like the ending, the sense of that the Heath Ledger, even though the age may not vary, even though we don't know his exact age when he's there.
I mean, they just call him the young inmate.
I understand that, but it's in a sense like he sliced his face up. It kind of destroys of how like Heath Ledger or Christopher Nolan's Joker follow the style of the Killing Joke of you're not really sure how the Joker came to be. Here it shows that he was an inmate and a little delusional. We don't know how smart he is, but he cuts his face in the style of Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah, and when they introduce him, they do say that he's like, all he does is smile, and like today he's not smiling. That was when he bit the guard.
Who?
The young inmate. So when we first see Arthur after in the beginning, when he's not smiling, whatnot, they're talking about like always like this guy's always either laughing or smiling. Always smiling. And today is like the first day he actually bit somebody. When he bit the guard, when he was sneaking up on Arthur at the beginning. Same young inmate.
He bit a guard?
Not Arthur, the young man.
I know.
Yeah.
I understand that. I don't remember a guard being bit.
Yeah, he did.
I know they showed him a couple of times, like he's looking at him, like he's a target. And then when he's on TV, he's like almost having he rubs his ear in a very sensual way. It's like this guy is into Arthur in a weird way. Yes. And then we see him like he kills him in a way. I believe like I could be a better Joker than you.
I can argue that Arthur may not be dead.
Again, it's insinuating his eyes are open. It kind of simulates the first movie where he's laying on the ground being beaten up by the kids in his clown suit, right? But interesting, I saw another review where they brought it's like a full circle, because does this all happen in his head? Because the movie starts and ends in Arkham.
I mean, he still goes to trial.
Does it really happen though? Again, everything that happened that day in Arkham, or that opening scene could have happened in a day where he wakes up, he's there, the kid is not smiling, blah, blah, blah. We see everything that happens that unfolds, blah, 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 blah. Well, where does Arthur end up? He doesn't escape. He doesn't go back to being the real Joker. He's back out home, if you will. Now, granted, it's not really the opening because it opens with a cartoon. I thought it was an interesting approach. I was like, oh, okay, they're going to do this here where it's on his head. But we see that he's watching, or the inmates a lot are watching cartoons on the TV a lot of times. Now, the original Joker had many influences here. And this one had some influence, of course, the musical influence, but it also had like Primal Fear. That movie with Ed Norton and Richard Gere, did he really do it? Or was it second personality? Like that, where they were trying to figure out in the sense that he was actually two people. And in Primal Fear, spoiler alert, is the same person. He is not crazy. He's not having split personality. He did it himself. He tried to create the second personality approach to not serve jail. And here, Arthur admits there is no Joker. I did it. I know what I was doing. And I like Harvey Dent. He reminded me of Harvey from Batman the Cape Crusader cartoon.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right? He also kind of reminded me of the character from, who was it in Mask of the Phantasm?
Sully?
I can't remember his name, but right now. But that he kind of had the same look, the long nose. He almost looked like Pennyworth from the show.
Oh yeah, the HBO show. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there.
But
I was a big fan of the Pennyworth show.
No, I mean neither. I never watched that. I never saw it. But I saw the posters and all that stuff.
First season,
but he becomes okay. I'll take your word for it. But we see Harvey as Two-Face after the explosion.
I would say the explosion wasn't enough to scar him to Two-Face levels. I would say it's enough to mentally trauma him.
Right, but he had a scar. One side was clearly damaged than the other side.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is like that damage could have been healed and medically healed. What I'm saying is
possibly
that's enough for possible trauma mentally for him. Down the line, he becomes a true face. I mean, they have a lot of characters that could be hinted for, like the psychiatrist. I didn't realize before her name was Deborah Kane.
Bob Kane.
Oh no!
And also, but
I was thinking Scarecrow.
Yeah, is it Crane or Kane?
Oh, you're right. It is Crane. There was also Bullock.
Wasn't he an inmate?
Oh yeah, he might have been an inmate. He should have been like a cop.
Right, but wasn't he the one singing? Like, wasn't he the one that was singing?
He was.
The Saints come marching in the.
Yeah, I mean, there was that kid.
Yeah, who was that kid?
Ricky Mellon.
So there's
just no relevance. Nothing I could think of.
Did you enjoy this movie?
I thought it was all right. The part that made me enjoy it was the ending, because I was starting to dislike everything. Like there were certain highlights I was enjoying and like here and there, but for the overall I was disliking. And then the ending happened, and for me, like everything that they were taking away from the first movie was actually brought back again.
How so?
The mystique of the Joker is you don't know who he is, right? The part of the mystique of the three Jokers is, even though we know clearly there's three Jokers, we don't know who is officially the original. They swap their stories. They literally communicate with each other. So they just share each other's stories and everything. So they adopt their lives. And then when I started thinking, I'm like, okay, so Arthur is arguably the comedian, if not the clown, because the three Jokers are clown, comedian, criminal.
Okay.
So that makes the other Joker, the guy, the young inmate, is going to be either the clown or comedian. No, he's not the clown. He's going to be either the comedian or the criminal, right? So Arthur is either.
Well, before that, I would say that Arthur is the clown because his makeup is of a clown.
I mean, sure, okay.
Who wanted to be a comedian, never succeeded. But
we can go with that. We'll say that just for discussion purposes, right? We'll say Arthur's the clown. The one in the asylum, the young inmate, is the comedian.
Okay, because he told the joke.
And inadvertently, the one who killed the Waynes is the criminal.
Oh.
Because the criminal is supposed to be like the criminal mastermind, the one who does like big hits and does major things as a criminal boss. And then like the others, that's the way I put it together in my mind. I could be completely wrong and probably am.
That's a great concept because again, you have two movies. So you have Arthur this is a story of Arthur. There's a beginning and there's obviously an end. Let's say he did die. So that's the end.
Yeah.
There is going to be no more.
I mean, it probably won't be anymore because of the box office reviews, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. It is. I mean, and come on, it's deservedly so. And it was funny though. Like I have one of my gym members. He saw it. He saw it in Paris. He saw it in the premiere, but he didn't say anything because I was like, anyway, I go, hey guys, anyone going to see Joker coming out this weekend? And he was like, I already saw it. Oh, you did? I said, yeah. And he says, I'm not going to say anything. And then I saw him today, and I said, hey guys, you guys see Joker? They go, no. I go, don't. And he goes, it's bad, right?
Well, and here's the thing. I feel like a lot of people went in with expectations after the first.
Oh no, I went with low expectations because Todd Philips record.
Yeah.
Hangover. When he did Hangover, that was a hit out of the park, a home run. And then part 2 and part 3 came out, and what they are? Same formula. Now this is a different formula. I'll say that from part 1 and part 2. It's a different formula, but what it did, this part 2 just took away everything that was initially set up in the first one.
Yeah.
It was meant to have you think of multiple endings, multiple variations of what could be or what could not be.
Yeah.
It gave us that illusion. And by having this second movie, it just locks it in, and this is how it is. I was like, damn it.
So what's a favorite moment for you then?
When he reunites with Puddles.
That's a good scene. The courtroom scene where reuniting with Puddles. Yeah.
Yes, I like that little guy in the first one. It was a comedic moment there for us and for Arthur when he's trying to escape. And then Arthur is like faced to see what he has done. He hurt someone that he truly admired, respected, even loved in a genuine way. He even said it. He's like, you were nice to me. You were the only one nice to me, Arthur.
Yeah, that actor, Lee Gill, he brought a good performance to that role for Puddles. More so than in the first one, when he did that, Arthur broke that character of Joker. He's like, I was good to you. I told you I wasn't going to hurt you.
Right.
And then they played off. It's like they played off each other really well.
And the thing is, he's also admitting that he killed the guy, not Joker.
Yeah.
But Arthur killed the guy. So he's admitting to that while he's saying that. I told you I wouldn't hurt you. And he killed
that's not the argument wasn't that he did or didn't kill someone. It was the argument was he sane?
Is he fit to sit trial?
Which is like in the comics and the cartoon. Joker never wanted to go to jail. Joker always wanted to go Arkham. It was always better for him.
Because he could always escape.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like one of my favorite episodes, Batman anime series, when he was working with the tax accountant.
I'm trying to remember.
It was the one where he's like, I'm crazy enough to mess with the bat, but I'm not crazy enough to mess with the IRS. Because they'll send them to real jail.
I also liked with him and Harley at the steps.
Oh, that final scene?
Yeah, where she's saying goodbye to him. The reason why I liked it is because it lets us know they were talking or communicating a lot through song. It just wasn't in our head or just what we're witnessing or in his head. He was saying, I don't want to sing right now. Can we just talk? Because that's how they started relatively. He meets her while they're singing.
Yeah. While
she's singing, excuse me. And he reintroduces himself to her and they start singing, come on, get happy, put on whatever, that song. Yeah. And from there on, it lets us know that they talked, sometimes regular dialogue, but they also talked in song just to have that connection.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great touch in the sense of he knows the difference between reality and fantasy in that aspect.
In some cases, I would say, yeah, but there was also points where he was singing and then stuff wasn't happening and you think that's him actually singing with the crowd and turns out it's not.
No, I know. I understand it. I understand it was in his head too. That's why I liked it too, because a lot of times we see when he's singing, he does go into the fantasy, is all in his head.
Mm-hmm.
But that moment, he's like, this is reality. I love you. That being said, I did have other issues with that love thing. But what about you? Do you have a favorite moment or two?
Puddles definitely is one of my favorite moments. When they brought in his neighbor, Sophie, and they were talking about the conversation with his mother, which for one makes no sense. His mother was like always at home, invalid in bed.
Right, she was always drugged up.
Always drugged up. How is this conversation? That's a very intense conversation that someone just has with their random neighbor.
Yeah, well, don't forget, the mother was off herself.
Yeah, but
That's established in the first one.
yeah, it just begs the question,
And
like, was she leaving the home? So it's just like,
yeah, she probably could have, because again, Arthur's out there working, and she probably had to throw out the trash or do
yeah,
laundry like he couldn't do. So they probably crossed each other's path.
maybe. But either way, that's
Mhm.
not the scene I liked. I'm leading up to it. It's when
Oh,
he
sorry.
starts singing in his head. It's Arthur on the chair on the stool smoking.
Mhm,
And then
mhm.
it starts going into him in the courtroom and taking out everybody he doesn't like.
Again, some good moments. I did appreciate this singing, and some of them, not all of them. God, I was like,
I think it was
enough.
overkill for the songs.
Yes, and it was also like, wasn't like 1 or 2 songs that they kept replaying or repeating. It was like 2 or
Yeah, they
2
repeated some
songs.
songs over and over again, and then the setting of the songs, like some of them make sense. Like when the song that turned into like a share,
Yes, Sonny and Cher,
Shunny and
yes.
share, and then he gets shot in the gut. To
Mhm.
me, I interpreted that like when he first found out Harley might be playing him, it's a shot in the
Mhm.
gut from like
Oh, yeah,
from a romantic perspective.
reality.
The fact that they go back there for the end was not necessary.
Oh, there's so many things not
Yeah.
necessary in this film.
The musical aspect, I think it was just too much. They dialed that down and pulled that back.
Mhm.
And I get you having Lady Gaga, sure. That's an asset when we're talking about for musical movies. It's a little bit
Yeah,
overkill.
but she's
She
done
did.
movies before where she doesn't sing.
I understand. I'm just saying, like, if you don't know what you're doing with her, somebody might go overkill with it. I really think they should have utilized her more outside of the musical aspect. Matter
Me
of
too.
fact, I was going to save this for the end. I think, because sometimes we talk about things that would have been better for the film, and you can tell me if I'm wrong on this. I think it would have been interesting to
If
have.
she bombed the court.
No, I thought it would have been interesting if we seen her interact with the young inmate. You don't have to see her conversations per se, but we've seen her interacting with the young inmate. And maybe the young inmate was the one manipulating her to manipulate Arthur.
Well, no, her, because again, she was in love with the character of Joker. She was in
She
love of
loves
the
Joker, the character,
chaos.
yes, in the chaos. Back to the theory of the three Jokers.
No, yeah, exactly. No, I follow what you're saying. Because the thing is, she came from a good home. She was well-to-do. It wasn't like Arthur, who was poor and living in a one-bedroom apartment with his deranged mother. She didn't have to climb up so many flights of stairs. She didn't have to do that. She chose to do that because she rented an apartment right next to him, even though he doesn't want to. He said, "I don't want to go back there." And some people are like that. They run away from what they have, which is sometimes a good thing to have. They run away from.
Mm.
Where like Arthur, so yeah, is trying to run away from what he has to make things better, or in this case, not better, but different than what he's had now. Then, oh, I will quick to say, I'm surprised none of the 2 cops were not interviewed.
Did they say one of the two cops was dead or both of them died?
I don't remember. I don't remember the story about, because I didn't remember the names, so I don't know if they said it and they were dead. I can say they got beat up in that subway station, but dead. I don't think they were killed, but maybe they were.
Yeah.
Yes, if they had that scene of her talking to the inmate, that would make more sense in the sense of her trying to find a replacement, a more suitable replacement of Arthur's Joker. That would have made a lot more sense. But it would have been cool if she was the mastermind of the explosion, even though she wasn't, because she left as soon as he said there is no Joker.
I'm just me.
She was like, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
And that's different than the comics, because I mean, Harley, when she fell for Joker, she fell for Joker. Yes, eventually she did separate herself from him
Mm-hmm.
and she became her own person, but it wasn't in a way that a super fan like how we have it here. And I was disappointed with that. I was hoping that she was there as a psychiatrist and as like the lawyer that he had, and then she falls for him.
Yeah.
Any other good points?
The good points were when it was leading up to him becoming the Joker. And this was like at the same thing, the good points at the beginning of the first Joker. Him becoming the Joker, him performing as Joker were good points.
It's like Michael Keaton in Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Right?
Joaquin Phoenix is good.
Yes. Oh, he's definitely good. And it was great to see him revive that role. But it reminded me of The Matrix.
You loved
The
the
way
first
it
one and you
ended,
didn't like the others?
well, because like the way the original ended, Neo, he accepted his role. He left the movie flying.
Yeah.
He's in flight. He is full Neo mode. In the sequels, he's like, I'm not sure I'm the one.
But they always go backwards.
Yes, and they went backwards here, and it says like he left full Joker. He left with bloody footprints and having fun, running away from the orderlies. He's full Joker. And then here he's like,
yeah. Oh, I also like Jackie Sullivan,
like
the guardsman.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, he should have been killed. No one died here by the Joker. No one was killed by the Joker here.
True, absolutely.
People died, but no one was killed by the Joker. It would have been great if he had revenge on his friend, his cellmate, who was killed by Jackie.
His interpretation of Joker this time was complete opposite in the aspect, like, it's literally undoing everything that the first movie did.
The thing is, like, he felt like the Joker because of Harley. He found someone who believed in him, that there was a connection. So he was able to become confident and stuff like that. Where in the original, he became confident all on his own by getting off his meds or losing it some more because he was off his meds. Yeah. And they said it here, oh, I'm off my meds. I was like, when? They didn't show us when he was not taking his meds. They always showed us he was taking it. He had to prove it that he was all gone. They didn't show in a sense like he spits it out or what have you. And how the hell did she get in his cell? How the hell she was able to get in his cell? Is it because her father, her family is well-to-do? They're like fundraisers or whatever to the Arkham establishment?
Probably.
That he can.
She's being too familiar with like the scene in the courthouse where she gets to the holding cell there, and the guard's like, "Hey," and she's like very familiar with her.
Exactly. It's not explained in that aspect that she can just walk in and then walk out. She's self-admitted herself to go into Arkham, to be with him, to see him, and then she can leave right out. But she should not have been allowed to see him in solitary confinement.
True.
But there she is. Also, on the arraignment, the day of the arraignment, the city of New York. Wait a minute. I thought this was Gotham. Or the state of New York. Not the city of New York, but the state. But still, Gotham is not just a city. Gotham is a state. Gotham State University. Yeah. From the Nolan of the football team is Gotham. Gotham is not a city of New York, but they made it in that arraignment. I was like, wait a minute. I got.
Again, that's just people not knowing the source material too well.
Hello, the director knows the source material. He let that go through. Yeah. He could have said, wait, cut. We got to do it again. It is state of Gotham. Not the state of New York. So that faux pas. And that doctor, the Asian doctor, the psychiatrist, whatever that
Victor Liu
was there. He should have been Hugo Liu.
You mean Hugo Strange?
Right, but say Hugo. Okay, fine. Give him the thing, or give him Hugo Strange. Give him the whole thing, and it shouldn't matter. But he should have been that, because I was like, bring him more into that Batman world. You did it with Harvey, did it with Harley. Yeah. Why not do it with Hugo here as the one psychiatrist that looked after him, that looked at him, that examined him, have another person.
I would have liked more from the Patty Myers character, played by Stephen Coogan.
Yeah, I mean,
just to have him in that one interview, feels like a waste. Because he was bringing good performance opposite Joaquin Phoenix. And I think that would have been a better interaction throughout the film.
He reminded me of Robert Downey Jr.'s character in Natural Born Killers.
Oh, okay. I see where you came from.
He's almost similar, almost the same. It says like when Robert Downey was in there as the reporter interviewing Woody Harrelson's character, he's like long hair, very simple setup to film all the stuff. It had that same kind of aspect. And I was like, oh, maybe they'll try to get this here too. But then the singing happened. I was like, oh boy. But the singing could have been in his favor because he's like, oh, okay, this guy is off his rock that he's singing. What other faux pas? Oh, his laughing. Sorry. His laughing, very minimal.
It's more controlled.
Yes, but then at the time when he's out in the yard in the rain, he's laughing because I think that's his moment where he realized that he's going to be killed. Because I think they said that he's going to get the chair. What was weird about that, there's a rope, a line attached to him. You don't see it that well. It's attached to the fence.
It's one of those things that reminds me of like I've seen it in some prison films where like you get time in the yard, but you can only move so much distance. So you have to be tethered to like a pole. It's like a leash.
Well, no, but because before he was out in the yard, he didn't have it. But
It's a
that
form.
time in the
It's like a
rain,
form
he
of
did.
torture.
But again, I'm sorry, I cut you off in the sense of pause. Do you have any more?
No, I'm gonna be honest. Like, just take away some of the songs, some of the musical aspects, rearrange some of the story aspects, and bring in more time for some of those actors to really shine. We probably would have had a way better movie.
Yes.
The age thing, I'm past that. You know, like, people were like, "Oh, Harvey Dent was supposed to grow up with Bruce Wayne." Bruce Wayne is a child, like, in comparison to Harvey Dent, who's already a assistant DA.
Right. Right. You're correctly on that. If that's Heath Ledger, yes. Without the time of the age of Harvey Dent, yes, you're correct. The Joker at the end, it could be interpreted that anyone could be the Joker.
Yeah, exactly. And which is
Kind
a story that's
like,
been done before.
right, but kind of like Christopher Nolan's Batman. There's got to be a Batman. Hence, Robin becomes Batman at the end of the trilogy.
They did it in Gotham, the TV series.
I never watched it. But go ahead.
They never, well, because of the licensing rights, they never got the official way to say Joker. They always called him by a certain name.
What was that?
Oh, I forget the main guy's name. Is the kid from Shameless.
Shameless. I understand that. I know who was in it. Was there two Jokers of that show?
Yes, there were.
Okay. Right. It was twins. Was it like the same?
Yes.
Like they were brothers?
And then so one was more sane, and then the other wasn't, and one like had his face removed and can't put back on and stuff like that.
That's from a comic series. That's another Joker who did that. Now, do you know about that one? Which Joker is that cuts his face and puts it on again? Or
well, in Gotham, it was someone else that removed his face, and he woke up and he put it back on. It was a weird thing.
Right, I understand. But in the comic book, there's a Joker variant that has a skin face on there, and it came out before Gotham.
Oh, you know what? I can tell you because I had looked it up the other day. Each Joker is a stage in time frame in DC Comics. I want to say the criminal was the Golden Age. The comedian would have been the most recent. That's the modern age, Bronze Age of comics. So that's the one that's the one running current, or he's been revised. But yeah.
Is that the one with the ripped face, their face ripped off?
Yeah. That would have been that one.
Anyway, at the time of this review, on Rotten Tomatoes is currently scored at 33% by the critics and 30% by the audience. And I have to agree with them right now. I'll say it right now.
You're in the 30s?
I'm in the 30s. It's not worth the watch. If you don't want to get disappointed by the lore and beauty of the first one, do not watch this.
That's fair.
Now, if you're into musicals, watch it.
Usually I'm the one giving the caveats. Little asterisks. I would give it a 45 for the same exact reasons. Like, if you're into musicals, you didn't care for the first one, because there were people that didn't like the first one. If you didn't care for the first one and you want to see them erase like what they did with it and possibly introduce a new Joker, then go with this one. You just have to wait until the end. I mean, like, I gave it a 45 because cinematography, like music,
it's
shot very well. It's a good film as a whole. As a sequel, it's poor.
Right. If you're looking at it as a true origin story of another Joker, if you will, fine. But to me, I just love the aspect of, and now it's going to be ruined because I saw this, that it actually happened. Where was it in his mind, or was it not, or did it really actually happen? And that's the only thing I'm upset about, that they did that. And I'm mad and upset that he did not get any revenge. He didn't get revenge on his cellmate, and he should have gotten his revenge.
I think it would have been more interesting if he started laughing in the cell when that guy got killed.
Right, because when he gets stressed, he starts to laugh. Yeah. But no, he starts to like, oh my God, he's dying.
Or if he stops laughing, he goes full locked in Joker.
Exactly. But nothing. It is also insinuated he got sodomized by the cops.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it would have been nice too to see possibly Bruce Wayne in the courtroom.
Yes, yeah.
Like, no, show him in the courtroom that he's there watching, because he came to the manor. I know that guy.
Well, also Bruce, at that time, Bruce Wayne would have put the pieces together that the whole clown situation was because of him. And
maybe.
Yeah.
Well, but he was too young. He would have been like, what, 12 or 14? He would have been a little older.
I mean, they were talking about it for like 2 solid years after. So.
Right. And they made a movie out of it. A movie came out of it, which I thought was kind of weird, because not the movie part, but when Harley sees him, she goes, hey, and then she does the gun thing. And I'm like, how does she know about the gun thing?
Because of the neighbor.
No, because of the movie.
Yeah.
Because the neighbor left.
And that also begs a question because he never did that action with anybody else but the neighbor. So how does anybody know about that?
I think she was interviewed for the movie, the Sophie,
Mhm.
to get some information
Maybe.
to tell her side, and they used that as the movie source. Or she was probably interviewed also because of everything that happened. And so in those 2 years, that movie came out. So that's what I'm thinking is like, how does she know about the gun thing? And that's the only thing I think of. Is this worth the watch?
No. I mean, if you're hitting those caveats we mentioned, maybe on stream, like
Yeah,
in
I guess
passing.
so.
But
Yeah,
it's
I
definitely
would not
not
watch
worth
it.
it in theaters.
Yeah, I would never watch this again.
Yeah.
The first one is near damn a masterpiece. This was a total letdown.
It's
I don't
not going to
care.
beat Deadpool.
Oh, hell's no. Joker, the original, made over $1 billion.
Yeah.
It made clearly over $1 billion. It was a hit. He won an Oscar for it. He's not going to get an Oscar for it now. I don't think anyone has done that. I've got an Oscar for playing the same character twice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm so disappointed. All right, guys, that is our DC-ness review of Joker, Folie à Deux. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? Do you agree with our thoughts? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, please follow us on Instagram. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
Bye, Don.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.
Oh, shit.